So we've been covering the strippers on strike that are at the Star Garden in North Hollywood now for a couple of months. Well, I have some news to report on that. Actors Equity, which is one of the biggest entertainment unions in the country, they represent theatrical stage talent and also stage managers, has agreed to take the strippers on. So basically, they have now petitioned the NLRB on behalf of the strippers at Star Garden. And if they proceed with a yes vote and everything comes in order, they will be part of Actors Equity. So that is, I think, really big news. This is the first time that we've seen any entertainment union look towards strippers as being part of a performance art. And it actually makes sense on a lot of levels because they do perform on a stage. It is performance. So I wanted to cut to a video. Colin, if you want to put it up, I actually covered the press conference and rally that happened over the weekend. And I spoke with some of the strippers.
Without having union support, they have abusive working conditions. They don't get benefits. And when workers are in that position, traditionally in this country, at least for the last 150 years, if you have no power to get what you need to support your family, you unionize.
That was not the only night that we met with a combination of Star Garden workers and activists from Strippers United, and it wasn't the only one that ran long, but I'm going to skip to the end. This past Wednesday, August 17th, Actors Equity Association filed a petition with the National Labor Relations Board on behalf of the bold, brave, and badass workers at Star Garden. They work hard. They are entertainers and artists and athletes, and now they are our siblings in the labor movement. They deserve fair pay. They deserve health insurance. They deserve workers' comp. They deserve pensions. They deserve to save for retirement. They deserve a union, and they deserve a contract, and now we're going to link arms with them, and we're going to go get it. Yeah! Thank you all for your solidarity. Thank you for your support and your amplification. Thank you for being here tonight.
Strippers and actors, shout it from the rafters. Strippers and actors, shout it from the rafters. Strippers and actors, shout it from the rafters. Thank you. Happy hot labor summer. Yeah! But I've been told for years that my status as a stripper would be the thing that ultimately turned professional institutions in the acting world off to me. And somehow I always knew that that was bullshit. Sex workers are artists and sex workers are healers. The function of art is to change people and the way that they interact with the world, even if it means just seeing a play that makes you laugh for long enough that you forget your troubles, or if that means spending time with a beautiful person who makes you feel desired and reminds you that you're not alone. Sex work doesn't become degrading until it becomes devalued. So I want to say thank you to Actors Equity for recognizing the value that we strippers bring to others' lives. And thank you for recognizing our artistry and for recognizing that we deserve protection as much as any other type of performer.
So
I like how you said I interviewed some of the strippers, and your first interview was with some old guy.
It's a guy from Actors Equity.
I just picture people watching at home like, wait a second, she said she interviewed the strippers. Who is this guy? What strip club is this? I demand a refund.
So anybody that wants to see the full 30-minute thing can go to the District 34 YouTube and watch that. But I spoke with strippers and also members of Actors Equity. So he's an Actors Equity member. But also, did you notice that we were below Burbank Airport? Did you know that the
I heard the planes.
Offices were below? Yeah, I was like...
I assumed it was your private jet, but I guess it's because you were Burbank.
No, this is such big news, Ron, that it even made the Hollywood Reporter. There was a reporter there that evening from the Hollywood Reporter. So I wanted to pull this up, because let me say this. This is really historic, and I need to drive this home because I'm not sure that people get how historic this is. I'm 52 years old, so I've seen the change that has come with how folks view sex work in the country, right? Mm-hmm. There used to be a stigma attached to being a stripper. Like you just didn't talk about it. You put those girls down. You saw, everybody thought they were, not worth, fighting for workers' rights with strippers. Are you kidding me? No, they choose this horrible position. So the shift in society from that to where we are today, I think is enormous and really important part of how this came apart. And the fact that a 100-year-old union is willing to take their case up with the NLRB is phenomenal. I mean, this is really, truly historic.
I'm thrilled about it too. I do think we still have a very long way to catch up, especially to a lot of other countries.
Yeah.
I mean, and look, I mean, at the end of the day, it really comes down to a lot of people who came to this country and then, killed everybody who was here first. A lot of them had very puritanical religious beliefs, and that kind of has been passed down. And that's sort of, why we are so taboo here when it comes to sexuality and stuff like that. I mean, we're still so far behind so many other countries, because in so many other countries, like, even prostitution is not that big of a deal. It's a job, like it's seen as a job because it's the oldest profession
in the world.
Yeah. And I mean, I have no problem, I have no problem with it. That's somebody's choice. And people, as long as people are being, as long as people are consenting adults and they're being respectful and mindful and you're, compensating the person what was agreed upon and stuff like that, I think people can do whatever they want. That's their business. So, but it's interesting to me, even on the left, like there are some people who are, I mean, when I covered the stripper strike, because I covered it too on Get Your News On with Ron, I mean, I got some comments from people on the people who fancied themselves leftists who were like, no, you're wrong. They're being exploited. They're blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, who are you to make that judgment? First of all, who are you to say things like, first of all, like the person who works at Walmart for like not a living wage, they're not being exploited.
They are.
Like what gives you authority on who is and isn't being exploited? So someone with an OnlyFans is being exploited, according to you, but somebody who busts their ass 40 hours a week and doesn't get paid a living wage, they're not being exploited. Who are you to make this determination? And who are you to judge anyone else, by what they choose to do with their body? Who are you? What gives you that authority? So there's even like a little bit of a puritanical wing even on the left, and I don't get it personally. I don't get it. I mean, if you don't like strip clubs, you have the freedom to not go to one. That's your choice. If you don't like porn, you have the freedom to not watch it. That's your choice. But consenting adults can kind of do whatever they want, and who the fuck are you to judge?
I agree. And in fact, I did speak with one stripper that did bring this up, and her remarks were basically that everybody should care about their safety and pay in the labor union movement, because their union matters as much as anybody else. And the fact that they've had to overcome a stigma like the one that you're talking about means they have to fight harder. And I think the point being is they are being exploited right now. They're being exploited by their employer who steals half of their tips. They're being exploited by their employer who allows drunk men in the club to cross lines and with no regard whatsoever for their safety, that allows drunk men in the club to violate state law that is there for the protection of the strippers, right? So there are ways in which they are being exploited. Their choice to be a stripper is not one of them. Most of these, in fact, all of them, not most, all of them that I spoke with chose this profession, and they do like their jobs. So again, you're right. It's a puritanical viewpoint. It's patriarchal. This is and believe me, there are plenty of women that are willing to look at other women through a patriarchal lens, which I think is really problematic. That's my personal opinion. Listen, if a woman chooses to do this, she's comfortable doing it. She's fine with her body. She's happy doing it. There is no reason that she should not be able to choose to do that work and do so in a safe environment. So I applaud Actors Equity for stepping up to the plate. It was a bold move. It was a brave move. And I think it's going to reframe the conversation for a lot of folks. So on that note, I want to bring up this Hollywood Reporter story, because this is not something you would have seen in the Hollywood Reporter 20 years ago. All right, Colin, if you can bring that up, that'd be great. So the name of the article, Inside Actors Equity's Stripper Union Organizing Effort. They are our siblings in the labor movement. The theatrical union has taken on a high-profile organizing effort at North Hollywood's Star Garden topless dive bar after dancers have spent months picketing. So this is true. They've been on the picket line since March. So everybody keeps that in mind.
I do love how that's the full name of the establishment. Like they're really not mincing words. It's like we're a dive bar and there's boobs. Come on in. Unfortunately, we exploit our workers here. Unfortunately, we do that. So we're jerks, but at least we're very clear with what we do here.
That's so funny, Ron. And also, I should mention, I think one of the biggest reasons the owners of this club have not settled the labor dispute yet is because they do own a second strip club in Long Beach that is fully functioning. So I think that's allowing them to make money off this, the other club in Long Beach, while sustaining what's happening at this one. You know, and I've seen patrons of the club standing outside with the strippers on the picket line. So the regular patrons of the and these are they're girls that they love to come see every week, right? They're out there on the picket line with them, which I think is fantastic because they are being supported in this way. And so in response,
well, are there any protests in Long Beach? Because that's that's my neck of the woods. That's near me.
Yeah, no.
All right. You know what?
So
I'm gonna do my part. I'm gonna do my part. I'm gonna go to Long Beach, and I'm not gonna protest. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna walk in there and I'm gonna be like, you guys either start supporting these strippers or I'm gonna be a scab and I'll chase everyone out of your establishment. No one's gonna want to see that came to this place.
Thanks for watching, and make sure to tune in to Status Coup's daily live stream Monday through Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time and Fridays at 4 o'clock Eastern Time.